can have like real ones, like with food.
Yeah, screw that. I want like the dessert.
I might have to go there.
Okay, we can start. All right. You can hear me. Do we need to pull up a feed just to make sure we can hear good on the audio? You guys have that up as well?
I got that.
Awesome, perfect. All right, good evening, everyone. We want to call to order the Tuesday, July 23rd, 2024 regular meeting of the South Utica Lyndhurst Board of Education to order. It is now 5:36. Mr. Hill, may we get a roll call?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Here.
Mrs. Jones,
Here.
Mrs. King,
Here.
Ms. Lee, Mrs. Shelby.
Here.
Perfect. Thank you all online for joining us as well. If you would all stand with us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I apologize, my back is to you all, but thank you all for joining us this evening as well in person. We like visitors in person. Thank you. We can go right into our liaison reports. 2.1, do we have a legislative report?
Yes, I promised that I would have it this time.
I'm scared.
I will not go into all of the bills that are up for approval. Mike DeWine did pass or approved on the 25 bills that were sent to him in the last legislative period. Right now, they are, our Congress, or the legislature is on,
Summer recess.
thank you, summer recess is the word that was trying to come out. So in relation to that, it is a good time to contact your legislators if you are concerned about any of the bills that you might have seen coming up for approval. We know that there have been movements to take some of the power from our city schools, our public schools, and encourage more private schools. Many people are not happy about that, so this is the time that you might want to let your legislators know. I'm not going to go through all of them, but we do have House Bill 70, which requires the placement of automated defibrillators in each public and charter non-public school, which is important. House Bill 147 makes changes regarding teacher licensure, revocation, teacher hiring practice, and conduct unbecoming the teacher profession. I read through this decision several times. It hasn't been passed yet, but it was hard for me to understand all of the details. But I do want to make sure that we are giving our teachers the right kind of support rather than taking away their ability to perform. House Bill 214 requires public schools to adopt a policy regarding certain expectations related to the performance of staff members' professional duties. Senate Bill 94 originally was only for the Treasurer of the State, but there is a legislator dealing with a couple of education-related provisions. One clarifies a provision allowing political subdivisions that enter a community reinvestment area tax exemption agreement with a commercial or industrial project to claw back exempted taxes if the property does not comply with the agreement. I thought that was rather significant. Senate Bill 98 originally was only for fraudulent business dealings, but the legislator added two education-related provisions expanding a property tax exemption that applies to if a political subdivision, charitable organization, or educational institution leases property to another institution for use for a charitable, education, or public purpose, and allows a county, metro park district, municipality, or community improvement corporation to apply within 12 months of the bill's effective date for an abatement of delinquent property taxes. So that could be significant for public schools. The Education Deregulation Bill, which is Senate Bill 168. Also, I read through this one several times as well. It includes teacher licensure, teacher evaluations, exemptions from certain regulatory requirements for high-performing school districts, and also contains some correction items from House Bill 33, which is the biennial budget. There was one more that I thought was significant. The House Bill 629, this is introduced but has not been approved yet. Sponsored by, it doesn't matter, would provide authorization and conditions for the operations of certain state programs, make capital appropriations for the biennium ending June 30th, 2026, and make other appropriations and declare an emergency. So I think that one is, bears looking into.
And how does that tie into school? What is that?
For
So
operations of state programs dealing with educational,
And you said that was 629?
629, yes. There also, and I don't know what I did with that, there also is, and I will find the number, but you've probably heard this, is both a House and a Senate bill which allows students to take at least three days if they are celebrating a certain religious holiday, because of the fact that we've not always included different holidays, different religious backgrounds. So that is also up for adoption.
So is that, I'm confused on that one, because some schools, like we already have a bylaw for religious preference for days off.
Right. but
And it
not-
just doesn't identify all of them because it doesn't challenge a person's
Yes,
type
this,
of religion.
yeah, this bill does not allow the school district to challenge the person's beliefs.
Yeah, we don't
To
do,
see
our
it,
policy
right.
does not allow that to
Yeah,
happen
well, you
already.
should check in the south of the state.
Oh, so you're just
Check.
speaking all the way
The
around,
whole
okay,
state,
because
yeah.
ours is established to where we
We're-
have religious preference.
We're probably ahead of the wave.
Okay. All right. Go ahead, keep going.
I'm done.
All right, well, thank you for that, Kathryn. I agree with you, Mr. Hill. There are quite a few things that we have tend to be ahead of the curve on. The AED thing made me kind of smile today because we
Yep.
already had that due to our situation
Yeah.
with the Cornett student and professional duties and staff. I think a
Yeah,
lot of
just-
those are kind of covered, so I would like to see when those do come out, how we align with them, because
Right.
we might see a lot of that already written into some of ours.
Yes,
So
we
that's
do
good.
have a lot of those.
I would guess we're probably, even when it comes out, we'll probably still be ahead of
Ahead of the game.
the standard.
Yeah, because with the AEDs, there was an article posted last year on the website. We actually partnered with the Cleveland Browns and UH, and we did work with Dr. Flannery, who's a doc for the Browns, and Ron Johnson got connected with him through grants. So we actually have more than necessary in
More
a
than
good
the
way.
requirement.
More than the requirement. And also, we're looking at getting mobile ones as well for athletics and band.
Sad situation for us turned out to be positive down the line. So, all right, thank you so much, Ms. Falkenberg. Do we have a student achievement?
We do. Looks like it's just an announcement. Okay.
We'll take it.
Okay, so on August the 1st, I plan to email the building principals and assistant principals. And I may also include the head coaches to provide me with updates on student achievement. I realized during my previous reports, despite the fact that I love sports, I don't really provide a lot of updates regarding our student athletes. So I want to focus in on that this upcoming school year, in addition to more additional focus on extracurricular activity achievements. I know previously I've reported on when our students presented at Capitol Conference, but I do want to provide more consistency across the board, not just specifically academic. I'm also eager for the updates and refreshes to our school building web pages and calendars, which I'll stay ahead of to make sure I'm providing that in my report as well. And that's really it.
Well, that is great. I think your job should get a little easier with.
It's a great segue.
Yeah, the perfect
So
timing.
you will have that. So when you do send the email out on the 1st, I'll say don't get discouraged if you don't get a lot of feedback, because we are coming off of summer. So a lot of those students will be in summer curricular activities, which their coaches might not be. So I think that would be a great point of contact to get ready for the fall, because you might get the most of your meeting in the fall.
Yeah.
And I'll send a communication and put you on it with our athletic director, Jamar Ross.
Thank you.
Yep. Because him and Rick Bloom, his assistant, they put out a lot to the staff on different achievements, different things like that. So I'll make that happen too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you, ladies, both for that. Do we have any public comment, Mr. Hill?
None.
None. We can go right into item 3.1 of the minutes. The minutes of the regular meeting of June 25th and the minutes of the regular meeting of June 25th. That's nothing
We'll
right there.
get rid of the and the.
As recorded or corrected will be adopted. The reading of the minutes will be waived. May we get a motion to approve item 3.1?
So moved.
Second.
Ashley and who we got? Falkenberg? You both are pointing at each other. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. King,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby.
Aye.
Thank you for that. Item 4, Treasurer's Report.
Good evening. Recommend for approval. Item 4.1, the financial reports for month-end June 2024. Item 4.2, the bank reconciliation for month-end June 2024. The investment earnings for month-end June 2024 for item 4.3. Item 4.4 is the return of advances for fiscal year 2024. And then item 4.5, we got 3 donations. Item 4.6, approval of the then and now purchase orders. And then item 4.7, approval of treasurer's report items 4.1 through 4.6.
May we get a motion to approve items 4.1 through 4.6?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Falkenberg and, was that Mrs. Shelby? Any questions or comments? Just for clarity purposes, Mr. Hill, these are some of the routine return advance processes to get ready as we prepare for the new year and close out the last, correct?
Correct. So the return of advances, when we advance funds in June, we then have to return them back. It's just because the accounts can't finish in the negative, and if we are in between receiving funds back from the state from a grant, that some of those accounts can be sitting negative because they're always a request, and then once they go negative, you request the funds to then make you whole.
Okay.
So that's why we do the return of advances, to put the accounts back to the negative status, and then we will receive the funds from the state at some point, because the state basically they cut us off receiving funds by, I believe it was the 15th this year.
Yes.
So then we've got a couple of week period there. Obviously, we have payrolls that run and things like that that will allow them to go negative again. And then we have to put in this in order to make the balances whole, and then we return them. So it goes, the money goes right back to the general fund.
Perfect, thank you for that.
Mhm.
Thank you for the donations. I know those two fund the yearly scholarships for the Brush High School senior.
Mhm.
And then we always get anonymous donations for lunch donations, so I'm grateful
Pretty
for
cool.
that. So we say thank you, that's pretty
So
cool.
grateful for that.
And hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. King.
Aye.
Superintendent's items, just before you do get started, Mr. Kaple, my apologies. I do thank you for standing in today.
Absolutely.
I do believe Dr. Reid is away.
Yep.
We will say happy anniversary. Today is her anniversary, 41 years.
41.
So when she made the request, I told her I don't want any problems with Mr. Reid. So they better be somewhere eating dinner, Mr. Reid, and you better have your credit card handy. So congratulations to that, and also my understanding, I believe this would have been her last meeting.
Correct.
So we did get a chance to celebrate her a lot during her last couple of months, so I don't want anybody to think that we did not acknowledge her. We had quite a bit of time to do that, so I will say congratulations to her on her newfound chapter, which will be retirement, and thank you for being here today, you and Josh, to lead us through this next part. So I'll turn it over to you. Item 5.
Okay, item 5 for the certified personnel. Before we get going on this, I wanted to give a shout out to Bill Miller in the HR department. As you can see, there's been a lot of movement going on. He's kind of got a thankless job. Came running into the office right before we came over here, actually, and we just got 2 more ISs that he's been hunting down in Gen Mole. So looks like we're pretty well staffed for the school year. Knock on wood. Yeah, exactly. We know how that goes, but thank you for that. So asking for the board's approval on all of the appointments, new appointments that you see listed. And also, after we read this one, and as well as the non-rep personnel, we have some guests behind us that wanted to join us as new administrators. So I got a few words to say about them. So first, seeking the appointment of 5.1. And you're also going to see on there the district leadership team. That's set and ready to go. That will be ran by Mrs. Bastock this year. Those are the teachers that have volunteered their time for that as well.
Mr. Hill, we missing a whole section.
We're missing the vote.
We are.
So I'm writing it in currently.
You're sending me down a rabbit hole here. All right, so let's do this. May we get a motion to approve item 5.1?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. King and Ms. Falkenberg? You
No,
guys don't start
give
pointing
it
at
to
each
Shelby
other.
this time.
Give it to Mrs. Shelby. All right, so first and second, any questions or comments?
I believe Erin had a comment about this one. Was it this one?
It was, no,
No, okay.
no,
It wa-
not this one.
Okay.
Any further questions or comments? Well, I say welcome aboard to those of you that are coming aboard.
I'll bring them up here in a
Put on
minute.
the list, Mr. Days.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Don't
I'm
worry,
excited.
I'll bring them up here after this one.
We got change of assignment, we'll deal with those, congratulations. Any other questions or comments?
Oh, wait, no, I just checked. So Erin was saying
That's
about
the next one.
okay. Okay.
Probably this one.
Oh, goodness, yes, I'm ahead, my bad.
Oh, okay.
Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye.
6.1, this is our non-rep staff. Again, I'm going to be bringing up one of our new position that we created. I did not fill, as everybody knows, we had 2 assistant superintendents for the last, it's been 3 years now. And after a lot of discussion, we understand, after hearing from the staff, hearing from the community, living it for the last 9 years in the district, the communications piece is something that we really needed to hit hard on. And Ms. King, you couldn't have teed me up any better for that with your comments earlier. So you're going to see that on there, and also a ratification for a resignation, but that person on that resignation is also a new appointment for an assistant principal. So seeking the approval on item 6.1.
May we have a motion to approve item 6.1?
So moved.
Second.
Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Mrs. King,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye. I want to back up for a second. So the unpaid leave of absence under Bundes, it says August 2024 through June 2024?
That should be through 25. Bundus, he did the whole year, so that should be
So that
25.
should be 25.
I'll make note of it.
Sorry to reopen that up.
No, it's
We're good.
good.
And then we all agree on the change of that, correct?
Yes.
All right, guys ready?
You need a mic?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal this one.
Well, it's far enough.
Maybe if I can get that. Yeah. Oh, thank you.
To the rescue.
Perfect. This on? Good to go? All right. First, he's sitting back there, Ryan Morton, not a new employee, he's been around here forever. But he set all this up today. Did a lot of the work. He gave all the credit to the kids, but Ryan's been over here, so. All right, so we got a lot of new appointments. Very excited to have this, building our army here. First one, in no particular order, Lee Fuller. Everybody knows Lee. Just a little background on Lee. He's our new Director of Business Affairs. He's been with South Euclid Lyndhurst Schools since 2001, where he's been a teacher, assistant principal, and most recently the principal of Roland Elementary School. In addition to his extensive knowledge of our district and school buildings, Mr. Fuller also has over 20 years of experience in residential property management, building, and design. His experience includes working with banks, lenders, tradesmen, contractors, lawyers, engineers, architects, and inspectors, which made him the perfect fit. One thing that we were looking for when Bill and I originally sat down when Karl resigned was I wanted somebody for all of our hardworking custodians, maintenance people, was somebody that could walk it and talk it with them. And when Lee applied, it was the perfect fit. He knows the district, he knows the community, and we're really excited to have you. So welcome aboard. You want to say anything? Nope, I didn't figure.
Come on, Mr. Fuller. You've been here forever.
I didn't figure. I bet this next one will have a few words. Sylvia Marshall is our new principal at Roland Elementary. Miss Marshall has been an assistant, as everybody knows, at Roland. She accepted the position of principal, and we cannot be more excited. Same thing with Lee's transition, and made it very easy. When we made that phone call, Bill and I still laugh about it. It was probably the easiest phone call we've ever had to make in our roles, just hearing the excitement, hearing the emotions. It's earned and deserved. Miss Marshall began as a teacher in our district in '06 and has served as assistant principal at Greenview and Roland since 2020. She has been instrumental in running our summer academy program the last few years and has the knowledge and personality to truly excel as one of our elementary principals, and we couldn't be happier to have you. So welcome aboard. You're welcome.
You know, I have to say thank you to everyone. Wasn't expecting this, especially now, but thank you for training me, just being an example of how you can grow in South Euclid Lyndhurst city schools. And not only that, but I was telling people I just closed on my house today. So not only am I accepting the position as principal of Roland, but I'm also a proud South Euclid resident as of today. So I want to thank all of you, and I gotta shout out South Euclid. Please come out to the food truck park on Friday. It's a nice jazz band at 7 o'clock. Hang out with us. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Marshall. Next one is Mr. Jameson Days. Wave, there you go. Mr. Days is relatively new to our district. He has already proven his leadership and skills, as he's been a student support specialist, so the SSSs that you see, as administrator and as an administrator in this year's summer academy. Did an outstanding job with that. Mr. Days also has experience as a dean of students and a culture of Breakthrough Public Schools, where he facilitated professional development, coached staff on effective teaching practices and classroom culture, implemented behavioral consequences and restorative practices, and built strong relationships with families. All of these skills, obviously, and everything he's done, also a Lyndhurst, correct? Lyndhurst resident, has been around, graduate of Brush as well, and really knows this community, and really excited to have you, so welcome aboard.
Thank you, everyone. I just really wanted to say thank you to Mr. Kaple. He's been a great person to have in my corner in this past school year. So I really appreciate that, and I'm excited to be back in South Euclid Lyndhurst as an admin, especially having walked these hallways and trying to help with these students and help with the staff to just make a great school year. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next one is Erica Lumdar. What did I do good? Bussey, got it. All right. All right, she's our new assistant principal over at Rowan Elementary. And Erica's she was assistant principal at Shaker Heights High School in 2022, and most recently at Barack Obama Elementary School, and has worked in education since 2009. Has experience as a diverse educational leader with keen tech and communication skills, made her an easy, unique hire for us, especially with her background. She understands the community. She's worked closely to here with that extensive background. When I wasn't present, I was on vacation during the interviews, but I know that her and Miss Marshall hit it off right away. And with having a new principal and somebody experienced backing her, we're really excited for this team. So welcome aboard.
I'm really excited. So we're going to be standing on business this year, our land, so really excited to be joining the team. Thanks, y'all.
Next one, putting the whole team together here over at Brush is Lamont Bradford. Lamont comes to us from Garfield City Schools, where he served as a dean of students, principal of the Learning Center, which is a credit recovery program for high school students. You led that for how long? 15 years, and as assistant principal at the middle school. Mr. Bradford knows the day-to-day operations of a school building, how to maintain a safe environment for student learning, how to ensure the school culture and climate is effective for staff and students, and has knowledge of teacher evaluation system. Obviously, all these qualities, his vast experience. One thing that stuck out, I know it really stuck out to Mr. Miller. He was glowing when he heard this. He doesn't miss work, ever. He took a lot of pride in that. He's always present. His thing is, I can't ask one of his quotes when I first met him was, I can't ask the kids to be here and hound on them on attendance if I'm not here. And just that man of integrity, everything I've heard from all your years of experience at Garfield, we're really excited to have you. So welcome aboard. All right, and last but not least, Ms. Kristen Cash. As I spoke before, she's our new communications coordinator. Ms. Cash comes to us from Shaker Heights City Schools. Side story, I was over at the ESC today at a legal update and got cornered by the superintendent of Shaker Heights and had to explain. I said, you got Dante, I took Kristen. So we did a trade. She's been a communications specialist over at Shaker Heights. She has experience in managing the district's social media accounts, regular communications with school families, staff, and the entire community as a whole, including PTA, managing the district website, serving as community liaison, and has extensive knowledge of school district operations. She graduated from Baldwin Wallace with a bachelor's in communication studies and went on to receive her master's in media and communications from Bowling Green. When I opened this up, I've never had this happen to me before. I had 5 people call me personally, not just from our district. I had 1 from our district, who's actually sitting right over there, to be completely honest with you, and 4 other people from different districts saying, hey, I saw your opening, I'm not applying, but you need to go get Kristen Cash. Wow. And so when her application came through, thank you, and the interview, and we were very open and honest about it. I told her, we have some things established, but we have a lot of work to do. So she's coming in with a clean slate. We've started making that laundry list. Ryan and then her and Lisa have already been connecting on things because as everybody knows, the communication part to start off a school year is critical. Yes, so really excited to have you and welcome aboard.
And while Dom's coming back, the 2 from this previous section, Michelle Stone and Laquita Creel will be joining my team, and that will complete my team. Then we'll be whole again after a couple of the shuffles and a few people leaving and things like that. And I know there was some question about Michelle Stone's, her position. That is the restructuring where we took, trying to build the hierarchy within the office, made Nicole the director of payroll and benefits, and then Michelle Stone will be her assistant. So basically, between the 2, they're going to divvy up the workload between Sandy Haffey's old position and Nicole's position.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Go right into item 7.
Yes, so now we're on to classified staff. And again, we have quite a few new appointments here, from bus drivers to ISAs. For those of you out there that don't know what we say by ISA, it's an intervention specialist assistant in the special ed classrooms. We also have some new aides on here, and a couple resignations and new appointments as well. So seeking the board's approval for item 7.1.
May we get a motion to approve item 7.1?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Falkenberg and Mrs. Shelby?
Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. King.
Aye.
Item 8.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I should have,
Reverse.
I just wanted to make the comment, bus drivers and new aides, we sometimes overlook them, and they actually spend more time with them than with their teachers. So I just thank these people for their willingness to take these positions.
Thank you, Ms. Falkenberg. Go right into 8.
8.1 supplemental contracts. Mr. Ross and his staff they've finalized the soccer coaches for the year. And shout out to we have a lot of unpaid volunteers that you're going to see coming in. And with that, like Ms. Falkenberg just said about bus aides or ISAs or noon aides, whoever that might be, unpaid volunteers are just that, they're unpaid. And they're donating their time. I was talking with Ms. Shelby on the way in here, who survived the first couple of days of band camp. And without all that help, it's hard to make it run. So seeking approval for 8.1.
May we get a motion to approve item 8.1?
So moved.
Second?
Mrs. King and Mrs. Falkenberg?
Yeah.
Any questions or comments? Mr. Kaple, just with that correction, under the unpaid volunteers, he is going to correct that to 2024, 2025?
I've made note of it.
Is it?
Oh, it's
it
for
is.
the summer?
Oh, I'm
So it is
sorry.
correct, then.
I am sorry.
Okay.
Thank you both. So this was the band
Oh, because
camp.
band
Is
camp
band
is
camp
the
still
end
in-
of this
Yes.
school
And August
year.
1st hasn't happened yet.
See, you stepped down and now you don't even know what to say. Need to call
Come on, Miss
Dennis.
Shelby.
Shelby. All right. Hearing no further, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. King,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Ms. Shelby.
Aye.
Item 9.
9.1, this will be Lee Fuller's starting in August. All the business affairs. You're going to see a lot of transportation items on here. It's that time of the year. Also, you're going to see the Right at School contract again. That is ran through Ms. Bussey's office as well as QuickMed. So both of those contracts are on here. And we're excited to have both of those groups back. And Ms. Bussey went through, if you want to speak a little bit on it, on the prices and fares, and it wasn't much of a change.
As far as the equipment goes, we really pretty much maintained consistency. There was not a huge increase, just a minimal increase for the registered nurse and the LPN. Within this contract, it will cover our school clinics, which and our district nurse who oversees the school clinics. So we're excited about that, and quite honestly, there's not a lot of turnover this year in that staff, and so we're excited about that as well. Our medical assistants, that's what they call them for QuickMed, as well as our licensed nurse and our district nurse have really enjoyed their time and their experience here, and they were looking forward to coming back, so we're excited to have them. So that is QuickMed, and then for Right at School, before and after care K-6.
May we get a motion to approve items 9.1 through 9.5?
So moved.
Second.
Falkenberg, is that Ms. King?
Shelby.
Mrs. Shelby? Any questions or comments?
I have two questions. The 9.1, is this an annual thing or is this something we already, okay,
Annual.
got it.
Yep.
And then on the quick med, I should probably already know this answer, but is it offered during the summer for the kids? For
Quick
physicals?
Med is not.
Okay.
It's just during the school year.
Gotcha.
Yes. They do assist though, with, fall physicals and
Okay.
things like that. And so we're about to gear up for that.
Okay.
Yeah, the three items, the payment in lieu it's an annual thing.
Okay.
We have to put that out there for families. It basically gives us the ability to to notify families that might not be in the bus route or feasible for us, that they can receive the payment in lieu funds. So, and there's deadlines that, transportation has to meet and go through that whole process. So, and then the other two, I think, are in their, the private transportation to also support if we have the inability to transport them ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good question.
And I just wanted to say, I'm so tickled that we're having quick med and that the people want to come back. I think that's such a good thing. And right at school, that before and after programming is so important for so many families, where, you know, both parents are working or one parent homes. It's just crucial, and so I'm very thankful that we still have that.
Absolutely.
And that we're able to give the discounts
Discount,
and
yeah.
offset some of those. I mean, I know a lot of the other entities that are out in the cities are just flat rate.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't pay, you're out of there.
Right.
So to be able to work with the families and be the service to them and try to accommodate some of their financial burden is really good. You don't have to have a number right off the top of your head, but are we seeing an increase in service at Quick Med of people?
So I don't have the exact number. I would say that, so there's two different pieces to this. We have our school base, which is our clinics, and then we have the Quick Med that is held at Rush,
Yes.
that the district is not charged for in that space. But I would say that there are regular visits
Okay.
that are occurring, because the things that potentially a clinic could not do, because there is a nurse practitioner on site here at Rush that allows them to do things that medical assistants can't, you know, write prescriptions and things like that. I mean, that was really the goal when we went to this model. And a lot of districts are using this model and using different types of providers. I think that is a benefit to our district.
Can we at some point, maybe towards the end of the year, as we gear up for holiday break, just kind of get a rundown of some numbers, comparing maybe?
Yeah, and so I just so you know, I do have some information, but because of FERPA, number
Just a
one,
number.
but it might be
Hard to do it.
skewed a little bit because I might come 3 times, but I'm really only
One person.
one person.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
So
worry
yes,
about it. No, don't worry about
absolutely can
that.
get numbers. That is part of our task.
Don't
Because we want to continue to make sure that it's meeting the need that we're asking it to meet.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
absolutely.
we can give you an
can
update
do
though.
that. December, you said?
I would say just going into the
New
close, going,
Okay.
cause I liked how last year we would see when we got ready to break, parents couldn't get into their regular doctors, but they were able kids to be seen. I mean, I know we're not sitting there twiddling our thumbs to where people aren't coming,
No.
but I like to see that
Yes.
they're still coming
I'll work on
through,
that.
so that would be great. Hearing no further questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. King.
Aye.
Item 10.
Yeah, down in academics, technology, and innovation, we have a PSI service agreement, as well as a program called Edmentum. We are partnering again with the Achievement Network. We started with all of our schools, I think 4 years ago, and we're starting to dwindle down a little bit with the ANET support. The nice thing with the ANET support was it was actually, they asked for it, which was really neat to see. They like the coaching, they like this extra support that they're getting down in that area. So with that, seeking the approval of 10.1 through 10.3.
May we get a motion to approve items 10.1 through 10.3?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. King, and we'll go Ms. Shelby.
Winner.
Questions or comments? Just a note, I should have said this earlier, but I didn't. On that administrative file attachment, I didn't look at the document, but if you notice the header, it says South Euclid High School. I did not recall if I opened
which
up that. Under the Edmonton 10.2.
Oh, okay.
The administrative file
Oh,
attachment.
Probably just how they, when they sent it to us, whatever that attachment was, when they saved it,
Yeah.
would be my guess,
We
right?
can verify that the contract itself states the full name.
Okay, I could probably do the same, but it just made me think about it, like, let me look at that. All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. King,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye.
None? Nope,
Says no way?
nothing.
Ma'am. They're under the business, but no, ma'am.
Item 12.
And just for clarification, all contracts go under business, so that's what Ms.
Yes.
Bussey was referring to.
Yes.
Yes,
So she
ma'am.
did have
Get
two
that.
on here.
There's
All right.
Mr. Fuller.
Pass the bill on.
Yeah. And then, under exceptional students, asking for approval for 12.1 through 12.4. And you're gonna see some tutoring services on there, as well as, some behavior consulting agreements, and Ms. Moles, is requesting, and a couple of different items on there. So seeking the approval from 12.1 through 12.4.
May we have a motion to approve items 12.1 through 12.4?
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Falkenberg and Mrs. Shelby. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. King.
Aye.
Item 13, Board of Education. 13.1, do we have any information that board members might want to bring
Yes.
forward?
Tag Day is coming up.
Speak loud so they can hear you.
Tag Day is August 10th, it's on a Saturday from 9 to 2. So the kids will be out in the community, knocking on doors, taking donations. It's our biggest fundraiser of the year, so,
Okay,
and it's for marching band.
perfect.
Good.
Yes.
And say your most important, I believe they'll be taking digital
Yes,
payments this
so the
year?
tag will actually have like a QR code.
Okay.
You can pay online through Square with a credit card. You can do a cash donation, or you can always mail in a check if you want to.
And how big that is, because typically they would just stop and drop the envelope in the door, and then
Yeah.
you have to put cash in it, or your check in it, or your coins in it, and take it back to the band room or get it to the school. So now you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
Yes.
We can get all of the money for Tag Day. So that's pretty cool. Anything else about band? Where are we in band camp? Is it,
We are day 3 is today.
okay,
They're there through Friday.
Nobody's been
Yes.
getting away by.
They've been working on 3 songs so far, so they sound really great. Yeah.
perfect.
And our numbers are up.
Yes,
Oh,
way up.
66 kids this year.
66
Yes.
kids at band
Yeah,
camp?
so we're getting there.
Volunteers must be
That's perfect. Awesome.
No, it's to Mr. Shamp, kudos to him and his crew.
Yes.
From that volunteer standpoint, it probably was the smoothest
Yes.
this year ever.
Yeah.
You know, getting ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
Couple other things as far as information. Capital Conference is coming up in November. I know we have the delegate piece at the end, but since we're in the information piece, I'll go ahead and rattle it all off. Josh, I believe Ms. Shelby, Mrs. King, and Ms. Falkenberg will be attending Capital Conference this year.
Okay.
I will not.
Mhm.
First time in 16 years. It feels weird that I will not be going to Capital Conference this year. I feel like I'm betraying a little bit, but
I'm hurt.
all is
She's
well.
got a
hurt.
family.
All is well. I will say I'm not going to Capital Conference because I'm in a new season of my life, and I'm spending a little bit more time catering to my husband.
We had a trip that we were going to. I declined the trip first, and his emotion was really kind of like, we're not going. And I said, no, I have to go to Columbus. And he was just like, okay. And then I could see the okay wasn't okay. You know, I lost my mother-in-law this year, and to see my husband navigate from a grieving process to reopening means a lot to me. So I am going to bypass Capitol Conference to spend an extended week with him and some friends.
Love that.
So I want to do that, and the nest is empty, but I still gotta pop a bird at the nest. So I will miss you guys greatly. I'm sure you'll bring back some stuff for us to have, but I will not be there this year. We do have city council appearances for the rest of the year. We are off for the month of August, so our cities know that we are taking a break for August. I believe we've got September. Did you say you? So we've got Kathryn for the month of September. Don't forget that Lyndhurst meeting will go to September 3rd, which is a Tuesday due to Labor Day.
Oh, that's right.
I gotta remind, I don't think our board meeting is there, but we'll check and see.
That's not.
Yeah.
It's not, so we should be
No,
good
it's
there.
next
September for South Euclid is the 9th. And then we roll into Crystal for October and Crystal for November.
Oh.
Did you got a chance to attend some council
Yes.
meetings with others? So
Yeah.
anything you need, I'll remember to reach
Okay.
out to you up to October. If you want us to help you, we can help you build up your report if you need.
Okay.
All of us will do that. And then we've got Ashley coming through the month of December, rounding out the year. I know we did not, of course, we can't go into executive session for this topic, but I just wanted to bring it out here. We did have a board member, Erin did have a request for us to probably not do council meeting reports anymore. But I think the four of us have agreed that we want to still do it. I know when we established reporting to city councils, it was a relationship builder. And in our opinion, it has began to maintain the relationships that we do have with the cities. So I am gonna continue to roll out the rotation for 2025. And I guess we can just kind of see where we go. We will make sure that we will try not to miss any of those council meetings, but we do want to continue doing that. I think it is a disjustice to drop that process off when we got a new superintendent coming in totally in 9 days. So I want for us to continue to be a support for him.
Yeah.
And the cities.
Thank you.
And we will go from there. You have put a lot of hard work into maintaining this relationship even through this transition. And I think that is not productive to stop that process. So we will keep that going.
I had great meetings with both mayors too. It was
Definitely.
fantastic. Yeah,
They're
they-
excited.
Yeah, they were awesome.
So we'll go from there.
For the months that Erin has,
So Erin was at the beginning of the month, of the year.
okay,
So those are done. So we will be finishing out the rest of the year with us.
cool, okay.
And then we'll deal with that. I just think it's a commitment of the board members to the district, students and families, and the process of educating the children. So we'll continue to do that. And I got a couple public comments. I would just say in general, because as I talk to constituents, I don't expect our constituents to know how our board functions and what the functions are from the state, but I got a lot of emails from constituents asking about how do board members report. So I just wanted to be clear, board members do not report to me. We do not report to each other. I am not your leader or your supervisor. I am simply the board president. I think my signature means the most. That's about it. I sign papers, I sign documents. I don't reprimand, I don't supervise, I don't penalize, I don't punish. That is not my job. So I just wanted that to be known to a lot of the community members that have sent me emails asking me those kind of questions. Board members, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, fall under the jurisdiction of the State of Ohio Board of Ethics for public officials. And if there is a concern that people have, that is where grievances are allowed to be rendered. And then the final and most important accountability role is the voters themselves and the constituents that they serve. So I just want to clear that air. I get a lot of those questions the last couple of weeks, and I have answered them honestly. So that is where we are with those. Other than that, I don't think I have any other information. 9 days, like I said again, I want to thank Mr. Kaple. He'll be walking into that hot seat.
We've been
I think he's ready
transitioning,
to
it's been
go.
good.
The transition has been good, and
Yep.
we're ready to go. We
Ready
got a
to
good
roll.
team behind you,
We do.
inside and outside.
Yep,
And I think that
we're
they
excited.
support you and
They
you
do.
support them.
They do.
And you got Josh on your right hand
Yep.
side.
Oh, yeah, we will. We're still
New and
on
unfinished business, there's no need for executive session, I don't believe. Any other business we have? Run with me, Josh, the dates for, so we're in, what were we doing with the board meetings?
Well, we don't have a special meeting in August, and I think we were gonna go month to month to see if there was a need to keep the special meetings.
Okay.
Well, obviously, we'll continue with the regular, but I think we were gonna see if we got a topic to discuss, we'd keep it. Otherwise, we'd just
Okay.
notify at the beginning of the month that no need for the special.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's not anything wrong for those of you that are watching. We haven't been doing wrong by our meetings. I just think when you have a new driver in the seat, you have to be cognizant. And the phrase of "this is how we always used to do it" isn't fair, and I don't think it's productive. So as we move along, you will see some different things maybe happening to accommodate this new administration and the processes that we do. We want to be mindful, and we want them to be productive, not just filling space and time. Okay?
And we will continue to do the building highlights. I think those are great for community to see, but where you'll start seeing those will be at a regular board meeting. So they'll be our kickoff to those.
Regarding, I don't know if it's
Yes, ma'am.
proper for me to speak now.
We're still in new and unfinished business
Okay.
information.
Mr. James took a group of his science students to Costa Rica last year,
Yes.
and spring break. That's something I'd love to hear
Oh, cool, yeah.
about.
I think he already got his next trip on.
He
Yeah,
does.
he's ready to go.
I'm going.
Love that idea.
Oh,
You're going? You're in?
Are you serious?
No,
No.
not serious.
Yeah.
Say you're not.
Can I get a ticket?
I wanna go.
Not without me.
Board trip.
So, Bob James, that
Yeah,
would
Bob
be
Roy's
we've
my
never
hero.
had that.
Yeah.
You're right, we've never had him come and
No,
speak
I
about.
think it'd be
That's
really
good.
great for them to talk.
That would be good. Hearing no other information on new and unfinished business, item 13.3, board policy adoption. South Lyndhurst Board of Education approves the following board policies that were previously presented for the first reading and preliminary review. Following policies were presented for first read at the board meeting June 25th, 2024. There's nothing here. So what, we don't really need that section then, Josh, am I correct? Because there's nothing in the adoption section.
That's first read, yeah, you don't need to.
So
Or no,
usually they
first
have
read
the
was-
box there, but there's
First read
nothing
was-
there.
No, it's good, because we already had the first read on the June 25th meeting. The box is here. Next page.
Do we have to
Yeah,
vote on
there's
it?
the box on the
Don't
boat.
stop on my glasses. You're not funny, Josh.
I flipped through, don't worry about it.
Policy number 8600 is a revision for transportation. 8600.04 is a revision for bus driver certification. 8640 is a revision for transportation for field trips and other district-sponsored events, trips, and 8650 is a revision for transportation by school van. May we get a motion to approve item 13.3?
So moved.
I didn't say it.
Ms. Falkenberg, you can have it, okay?
Second.
Any questions or comments? May we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. King,
Aye.
For the record, that's-
Ms. Falkenberg,
Aye.
Mrs. Jones,
Aye.
Mrs. Shelby.
Aye.
Item 13.4, OSB delegates. So every year for OSBA Capital Conference, the board designates a delegate who is allowed to sit in the annual business meeting at the Capital Conference. So the South Lyndhurst Board of Education of Cuyahoga County hereby appoints Crystal Shelby as the delegate
for the 2024 OSBA Annual Business Meeting. In the event that Mrs. Shelby cannot serve, we will appoint Ms. Falkenberg as the alternate. May we get a motion to approve 13.4?
So moved.
Second.
Shelby, Ms. Falkenberg. Any questions or comments? That package should be coming as soon as Josh submits that notification, so they will get that for you.
And I'll make sure that you'll probably get an email when I register us, and I'll probably do that. Now that I know collectively who's all going, I'll put that, register us, and then you'll probably get a side email with that you've been registered and all that, so.
All for you?
Can we vote on this since we're on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Hearing no other questions or comments, may we get a roll call, Mr. Hill?
Mrs. Shelby?
Aye.
Ms. Falkenberg?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. King?
Aye.
14.1, any public comment, Mr. Hill?
None.
No public comment. There is no need for an executive session, so we don't have to worry about that. And hearing nothing else, we can get a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
No, sorry.
Mrs. King and who is that, Ms. Shelby? Yes. All right, thank you all for joining us. Have a great rest of the week, and we will see you soon.
All in favor?
Aye. 6:32.